Journeymer here, and welcome to our very first ranking since my return, the Playerway era. This is a big one. This is one I've been wanting to do for a while because, well, it's important to me. If you've read the title, you know this is probably going to be very important to me because, yes, it is my top 20 games of all time. It's actually my top 26 because there's 6 honorable mentions, which means they almost made it in the top 20, but aren't. So take it how you will. First ranking, if you haven't watched my announcement video or return video, make sure you go watch that. It explains everything that's going on in the channel, especially if you're interested. Please leave a subscribe, leave a like, comments down below. What are some of your favorite games of all time? I'm ready to get into this. Hopefully you guys have been loving the content. So much more to come. Let's get started. So what's funny is I did a top 10 games of all time video a while back, and it has not aged well at all. It is straight booty cheeks. It is garbage. Like, I don't know what was going on through my head. I don't know if I was just like rushing the video. I didn't like take proper amount of time to actually think about it, or like dude, some of the pics in that video blow my mind. I don't understand what I was an idiot, bro. But no worries. I spent plenty of time, basically a whole week making this list. All right. So this is real. I just was as real as possible. I don't care. It's all biased. This is my top 20 favorite games of all time. Like I said, this is my opinion, and I'm just being as real as possible. I'm not saying they're the best games of all time. In my opinion, they're just my favorite, and that's all there is to it. So without further ado, let's jump in. Starting off at spot number 20. By the way, we got Austin Mob Axu, or Axu Mob. I don't know what his YouTube's gonna be called. I don't even think he knows at this point. Go subscribe to him if he's done anything yet. Again, don't know. Wow, Saints Row. Okay, buddy. All right. So starting off with spot number 20. It is at the bottom, but I mean, it made it into my top 20 of all time, so that's pretty good. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Yes, so I love Plants vs. Zombies. It's in my top 10 franchises of all time. And Garden Warfare 2 is just my absolute favorite. It's the one I have the most memories with, the one that I've played the most, the one that I just honestly think is the best. It's either that or Garden Warfare 1. There's things I like about Garden Warfare 1 that I like more than 2, but then there's a lot more in 2 that I like more than Garden Warfare 1. So yeah, this game is great. I've played it with so many friends, so many memories. I remember watching the trailer and was getting so hyped, and then I saw it was only releasing on Xbox One. That was the day I decided I was going to get an Xbox One, right? So there's like a lot of things there that is great. Of course, the franchise is awesome. Adding the new characters like Orange, Corn, the Rose, Super Brains, Pirate, and Imp was so exciting. Getting my hands on it, the whole single-player story added something so new and refreshing. Absolute great game. An absolute blast to play with friends, co-op, multiplayer, all that. Awesome. Moving on to number 19 is perhaps one of the most important games in my life. And I mean that. That is Rocket League. Yes! Oh man, if you were a friend of mine in middle school, I'm sorry. Alright, I am sorry for how obsessed I was with this game. I literally played this game straight for 3 years. Straight. And I mean straight, man. I was so addicted to the trading, to the competitive side of it, to just the game as a whole. It was unhealthy, all right, because I spent a lot of money on the game, spent a lot of hours, which, to be honest, well, actually, I was going to say I don't regret any of it. I do regret a lot of it because a lot of bad things also happened during that era of Rocket League. But I can't deny how much fun I had, and that those memories will always be with me until I die, right? Rocket League is just such a fun game. It's a game where you are a car and you're playing soccer, all right? It was great. It was great. Rocket League absolutely had to make it on the top 20 list. Definitely dropped from where it was last time. I think I had it at like 8 maybe or something like that. Or no, like 6 or 7 in the last one. Yeah, it definitely dropped for sure. Moving on to 18, we got a game that I have a poster for right over there, and that is Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So, this is absolutely my favorite Legend of Zelda game by far. Easy, no competition. Like, there really isn't. Like, I don't even know what is the runner-up, to be honest. There just isn't. Nothing to me. And again, I like a very specific Zelda, right? I like all the Zeldas, I'll be real. I like them all. They're all, like, great, right? But something about Link's Awakening, I think it's the art style, the music, just the type of game it is. It just resonates with me a lot more than all the other Zelda games. And I've just grown attached to it so much. Every time I look at it, every time I play it, I just love it more and more. And which is why I don't want to spoil anything, but I have another ranking that I'm going to do where a game is on there because of Link's Awakening. That's all I want to say. But yeah, absolutely love Link's Awakening. I know it's more of a niche type of game because it is that top-down puzzle chibi type game, but just, God, I love so much of it. It just brings a smile on my face and is absolutely one of my favorite Switch games. Let me just make sure on the list. It is my second favorite Switch game. Easy. All right. Moving on to number 17. Undoubtedly, probably one of my biggest childhood games. Easy. My favorite Wii game. All right. It's my favorite Mario game. All right. Broad spectrum here. And it's a spin-off. Ladies and gentlemen, Mario Super Sluggers. I adore this game to every level. Every level, man. I just remember wanting to unlock all the different stadiums, all the different characters. By the way, the game's roster is still to this day goated, all right? Goated. Mark my words, goated, all right? And of course, it's just a fun game in general. It's baseball with Mario. It speaks for itself. It's just a really fun game. Sure, there is probably some RNG stupidness, but that's what makes it toxic for you and your friends. And that's what helps the experience, you know? So, absolutely have to put Mario Super Sluggers in there because there's just so much childhood memories and just great time. And honestly, like, I still love it to this day. I would still play the heck out of it to this day if I owned it, which I will soon. So, yeah. Moving on. Actually, I contradicted myself. This is actually my favorite Wii game. But they're very close, and they're two very different types of games. So, I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot. This is actually my favorite Pokemon game, right? Which is crazy because it's, again, another spin-off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Poke Park. Poke Park 1, to be exact. Pikachu's Adventure. The amount of hours I spent trying to find my favorite Pokemon in all the different areas is something to this day I still crave. I crave till this day. I want to go into the volcano area and find Rhyperior. I want to go to the beach, find Blastoise. Like, there was so much fun stuff. Such a different type of Pokemon game. Like, that was, to be fair, the first like open world Pokemon game. To like open zone is what I'll call it. And so there's just so many memories. I pray to God we get a Pokepark 3 eventually, because I just love the game so much. There's so much I love about it. It's hard to put into words. It's hard to put into words why it's as good as it is. Like, same thing with Pokemon Snap, which is another one of my favorite games on the Switch. It's so hard to put into words, like, what makes it so special and what gives it the feeling it does. Pokepark is the same exact way. But yeah, absolutely love it. All right, that was our bottom 5 of our top 20. Moving in to the next 5, at 15, we have my favorites. Wait, let me just make sure. Actually, no, that's definitely fake news. Actually, it's really close, though. Is that... I don't know if that one's indie or... One of my favorite indie games, and has quickly... I mean, I think it's a masterpiece, personally. Death's Door. Oh, dude, let me tell you something about Death's Door. This game is underrated. It deserves way more credit, and is freaking fantastic. The music, visuals, god tier gameplay. I love the gameplay. Even the story kicks butt, man. If you haven't played Death's Door, guys, if you haven't played Death's Door, you're not living life right. All right, let me just say, you are not living life right. I got one of my friends to play it. You know who I'm talking to. He agrees it's also a masterpiece, as far as I'm concerned, and for good reason, because it's actually phenomenal. I've played it multiple times. I've beat it twice. All right, that's how good it is. I'll tell you. I'll give you a little tip and a hint when it comes to me. If I play a game multiple times, you already know it's one of my favorites. All right. Almost every game on this list, almost. There are some that haven't because they're more of, I would say, difficult and longer games. To the point where it's hard to do that. I've played multiple times. So, yeah. All right, moving on to number 14. A game that is, again, I think is underrated, but to be fair, it is a very niche genre, to where it's not going to appeal to a lot of people. And I'm a very special person that likes this genre. I think I'm the only person I know that likes this genre, and that is tycoon games, and that is Planet Coaster. I love theme parks. I love tycoons. I love video games, and I like to think of myself as a very creative person. Therefore, this game was basically made for me. The hours, the fun, the actual brain power I get to use when playing this game is unmatched to anything else. There is absolutely no way I couldn't have Planet Coaster on this list. I want to put it higher, but there's just games I would rather play before it, to be honest. But it also depends on my mood. Like, if I'm in a mood to play Planet Coaster, like, there is no stopping me. Like, no game is going to stop me from playing Planet Coaster, all right? I'm like a freight train when I'm in the mood, all right? Next up, number 13, I do believe. Yeah, 13, we got Ark Survival Evolved. The memories I have, especially, not middle school, it was middle school, early high school, I would say is more. The amount of times I played this with my friends, all the different maps and different, also, I'm a dinosaur nut. I love dinosaurs. So this game was just also, like, made for me. I love survival games. Obviously, I love dinosaurs, and there's just a lot to love. You get to make your own tribes, tame them, craft different items, what weapons. It's definitely my favorite survival game. And yeah, I just love Ark, and I can't wait for Ark 2. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint. From what I've heard about it, it's definitely interesting, but we just have to wait to see more. So yeah. All right, moving on. We got number 12, a game that was at number 2 in my last one, which, to be fair, I don't necessarily disagree with it being at 2, but I definitely don't agree with it anymore. That is For Honor. For Honor. Oh man. How do I even talk, dude? See, this is a moment when I wish I had certain friends in the chat with me right now. If I had Christian, if I had Michael in this chat right now, I don't even need to explain anything. There was a point For Honor was my favorite game of all time because of just how much we loved it. There is no experience I've had with any other game that gives me the experience I had with For Honor. Now, granted, it's definitely died down over the years, and it definitely is a very toxic game, and it's hard. You have to be in the mood to want to play it, which is why it went lower, because I would just rather play the other games before it now, to be honest. But it's still, I can't take away how much fun it is and how much fun I had and how much I hope For Honor 2 happens, even though at this point I don't think it ever will. But a man can dream. A man can dream. Right? Moving on to number 11, closing out our bottom half of the list, another game that I put as what I think is the most underrated game ever. Immortals Fenyx Rising. The amount of times I've told my friends to play this. One of them listened. He loves it. One of them sort of listened. No idea what he thinks. This game, guys. Yes, it looks like Breath of the Wild. Yes, it's made by Ubisoft. Yes, it's just a spin-off of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But yes, this game is freaking phenomenal. It's not a masterpiece, I will say that. It's not a 10 out of 10. I don't even give it a 10 out of 10 because there is one quest at the very end that I can't stand. I actually can't. But that doesn't take away the fact this is one of the most fun I've had with any game. One of the just most unique games, because this is definitely a genre that or type of game that I didn't play a lot of until this one came out. And it opened my eyes to just so much more. And I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. That's all I gotta say. Please play it. Please play it. Please, please, please. It is. Oh, it's the creme de la creme, man. It's peak. All right. Moving into our top 10. This is where things get yeah. I mean, if you know me, you can probably guess all these top 10, which is why I think this list is much better than my last list. I mean, I had Mario Odyssey at spot number 10 last time. I don't know where that came from. It's not even my favorite Mario game. So I don't know. Number 10, Injustice 2, my favorite fighting game of all time. I know that's a statement. It's just the one I played the most, the one I got good at the most, the one I just remember the most, the one I had the most fun with. That's just all it is. I love DC. I prefer DC characters over Marvel characters. Does that mean I prefer DC entirely over Marvel? Meh. In some ways, absolutely. In some ways, no. But characters are a big part, and I do love DC characters more than Marvel. All right. NetherRealm Studios is one of my favorite studios of all time. And they absolutely cracked the code with all the character customizations, the story, the multiplayer, the content, the gameplay. Oh, all good. And honestly, the game still holds up now. If only it had a bigger player base still, it would still be goated. Moving to spot number 9 is quite literally a definition of a masterpiece, and that is Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yes, remake. So, I'll be real, I've never played the original. I'm too young for that, to be honest with you. I would love to play the original. I just haven't yet. But with all these consoles I've been collecting, I definitely plan on it at some point. But the remake is great. As you guys know, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. Final Fantasy VII is my absolute favorite. Obviously, as you're seeing, I literally have a giant Buster Sword, like right there, hanging. Sephiroth is in my top 5 favorite characters of all time. You get the picture. It's my favorite OST. It's my favorite JRPG. I mean, there is so much to this game. Like, if you know me, then you know this game had to be on the list. The game had to be. Because, yeah, like, there is no me without Final Fantasy VII Remake. Alright, buddy. Alright, moving on. Number 8. This... this is gonna cause fire in the comment section. This is gonna cause war. Alright. Assassin's Creed Rogue. Oh, snap. Did he really just say that? Yes. Yes, I did. Assassin's Creed Rogue is my 8th favorite game of all time. And my favorite Assassin's Creed game. Unsubscribe. Nice. That was perfect timing. You didn't like say a comment this whole time, and the next thing you know, unsubscribe. Awesome. Yes. So, look, do I think it's the best Assassin's Creed game? Heck no. Heck no. No shot, dude. No shot. Do I think it's the best Assassin's Creed game? I don't even think it's in the top 5 best Assassin's Creed game. But am I weird? Heck yeah, I'm weird. And it's my favorite, dude. I don't even know how to explain why it's my favorite. I'll be honest, the best part to me is the story. The story is what really just sealed the deal for me. Like, that's what made me so attached to it. Because, as you guys know, I love Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite franchises of all time. And I've played every single game. And I played them over the years. Ever since I was a wee lad back in, like, 3rd grade, you know? And so, to go on that journey, and then for Assassin's Creed Rogue to release, it threw everything you knew about Assassin's Creed out the window, except the gameplay, and captivated me with... And notice how I'm using very precise wording. I'm not saying... I'm saying specifically me, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in the world that thinks this way about this game. It went from loving the Assassins, from every game, being a part of the Brotherhood, following their morals, following their code, to then looking at it from an opposite angle. Turning on the Brotherhood. Turning on what you believed was the core of what makes Assassin's Creed game's story possible. And kept, in my opinion, the best game's gameplay. Black Flag 4, Black Flag. It kept its gameplay, added its own story, which was completely unique. And there's so many scenes in that game that is like ingrained in my head because of how just defined that story is for me. Because I'm a huge fan of looking at things from opposite angles, which is why my number 1 game is the way it is there. It follows the same formula that Assassin's Creed Rogue does. It takes everything you know and love, flips it, makes you question everything, and while you're still having an absolute blast of a time. It's yeah, Assassin's Creed Rogue is, like, I get it. It's a spin-off. The budget was insanely low. Came out the same year as Unity, and Unity honestly slaps all over it. But for me, I fell in love with it. I really did. Hopefully y'all can respect that and not unsubscribe like Austin said. So yeah. Moving on. Oh boy, what spot is this now? That's 10, 9, 8, 7. 7. Oh boy. Spot number 7. My favorite Switch game. Easily my favorite Switch game. My favorite female character. And honestly, I'm gonna just say it, probably at some point gonna be my favorite Nintendo franchise of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Metroid Dread. It's Metroid Dread. So, before this game, I never played Metroid. I never played Metroid. I played Metroidvanias. I've played my whole fair share of Metroidvanias, but I never played the game that started it all, Metroid. And you know, one of my idols, Jaywood. Make sure you go show him some support, please. Jaywood 2010 on YouTube. He was hyped for it, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll try it. I knew people anticipated a new Metroid for years. It finally come. The trailer was dope, and I was like, okay, I'm in. I played it. The rest is history. I have a poster. Samus is my favorite female video game character. Metroid is my second favorite Nintendo franchise. Spoiler. Metroid Prime is one of the games that I most want to play. Like, easily. The game I want to play the most. Metroid Dread, like, just in the first day of playing Metroid Dread, it glued me. It made me actually, like, not put down the controller. Like, that is such a hard thing to do. For somebody who plays so many games, I'm always wanting to play other things, move on to the next thing, make content, but once I started playing, I was like, dude, I was just glued in there, and I don't even know how I loved it so much. I really don't. I can't even explain it. I mean, if you guys have played the game, you guys know Metroid is just always bangers, right? Always banger after banger after banger, right? And the enemy zones, the boss fight, oh god, the boss fights are so good. The visuals, the gameplay, all of it was just like, I just knew this is my favorite Switch game, and if I play more of this could end up being some of my favorite games of all time. Hence Metroid Dread being in 7. Hence Metroid Prime, I want to play that so bad. Metroid Prime 4 is one of my most anticipated games. There's just so much about Metroid that is gold, and I've yet to even scratch the surface with the franchise. I know we're not talking about the franchise, we're talking about the game, but this game is what made my opinion on this whole thing, because of that game, because of how good that game is. Moving on to our not top 5, 6 is my favorite platformer of all time, my game of the year of 2021, which actually changed now. Actually, no, I'd still say it's the game of the year 2021. I'll say that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, I feel like I just feel like I'm a broken record at this point when it comes to these games, because they're all just flawless. Not flawless. That was a lie. They're all just masterpieces in my opinion. And like, what else am I supposed to say? The story is God tier. Like, honestly, probably one of the best PlayStation stories. Easily. The gameplay is God tier. The music is God tier. The visuals are God tier. Alright? As soon as I finished that game, I played it a second time. Instantly. Like, instantly. I finished the game and like, alright, I'm running it back. I ran it back. After I finished it the second time, I'm gonna run it back again. Alright? I played it 3 full times in its first 3 weeks that it released. Also, you might as well even say 4th time, because I let my friend play the entire game when he came over. He literally came over to my house because I've been telling him, I was like, yo, this game is actually insane. And he came over and he got glued to it. He bought a whole PS5 because he loved the game so much. He paid $700 for his PS5 because he loved Ratchet and Clank so much. This game is a masterpiece. It is. Ratchet and Clank is now one of my favorite PlayStation franchises. Ratchet and Clank is some of my favorite characters from PlayStation. It's very close to my favorite PS5 game. It isn't my favorite PS5 game because there is one more that we're gonna get to here very soon. And yeah, so that's all I have to say about Ratchet and Clank. Absolute gold. Favorite platformer. No platformer made me feel the way I did when playing Ratchet and Clank. And it was like one of the first games to like utilize like next generation features in the fast loading, teleporting from dimension to dimension instantly, simultaneously, seamlessly. I mean, gold. Austin says I paid $700 for my PS5 to collect dust. Luckily, I'm not talking about you, to be fair. But yes, you did. So yeah. Moving on, finally, to our top 5. I'll be honest, one of these games can be my runner-up, my number 2. I'm not going to say number 1, because I don't think any other game even stands a chance. There's no competition. My number 1 is my number 1. It's my favorite game of all time, and as far as I'm concerned, always will be. I don't even think a sequel to it would beat it. Maybe. I'm not going to say never, but dude, it's going to be really hard to beat it. But nonetheless, going into the top 5 is my favorite first-person shooter of all time. My favorite multiplayer game of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Titanfall 2! Let me hear it. I know comments are going to be happy about that one. People love Titanfall 2, and there's good reason. The game is awesome. It is so awesome. I'm not the most competitive person in the world. I think most people know that. I'm not too big in the competitive stuff. And I was never great at Call of Duty growing up. I was never great at Battlefield. I was never great at Titanfall 1. But when Titanfall 2 came out, I think, actually, I'm going to say right now, the hardest I've ever grinded at any game is Titanfall 2. I would say I grinded more at Titanfall 2 than I did Rocket League. Real. I really do. I didn't play it for as long as Rocket League, but I straight up, I got levels in Titanfall 2, alright? Game is... there's no word. I've said all the words for all these games already. There's no other word I can say. It's immaculate. All right, there you go. It's immaculate. Absolute, dude. Give me Titanfall 3, please. EA, do you know how much money you're gonna make off Titanfall 3? Titanfall 2 did incredibly well. I don't understand why we don't have Titanfall 3 already. I'll tell you why. Because it's stupid Apex Legends. That's why. It's a good game. It's fine. Whatever. All right. Moving on to number 4. this game. Oh man, I gotta take a drink for that one. This game has changed the way I anticipate games, and I look at games and buy games. For the simple fact, I thought it was going to be bad. I really did. I thought it was going to be bad. I thought it was uninteresting. I thought it was way too expensive. I thought... I just didn't care. I literally said, I'm not going to buy it. I don't think it looks that good. Yeah, if anything, I'll buy it for Black Friday, which was 7 months later. 7 months later, I ended up buying the game on Black Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, it was the biggest mistake / regret of my gaming life. This is my favorite PS5 game. This is, in my opinion, see, what's the word I'm going to use for this? The biggest, comeback game ever of my life. Because, like I said, I thought it was going to be bad. And it turned out to be number 4 on my list. Returnal. Ladies and gentlemen, Returnal is a masterpiece. Can't change my mind, and you never will be. The gameplay is king. Ain't nothing better. I'm gonna be real. It's my favorite gameplay of all time. That is the statement of a century, but I hold by it because I love it that much. The visuals are outstanding. The story is outstanding. The audio, the music was, it's a horror game. I don't really know what you expect out of music from there. It's mainly just audio is the thing you're looking for. Outstanding. The content. Incredible. This game is insane. It's one of those games where when I first played it, I was like, yo, this is actually pretty sick. I like it. And I played it more. I'm like, okay, I'm actually loving this. I played it more. Okay, this I can't even. This game just keeps on getting better and better. Until I finished and I realized I made a mistake. I should have played this so much sooner. I should have played this day one. That should have been a day one pre-order. And I learned from my mistakes. Now games that I think look bad or uninteresting, I still give it a fair shot. I give it a chance because of Returnal. No way do I want to make the same mistake I made with Returnal. You never know. It might end up as your 4th favorite game of all time. Alright. Moving on. Number 3. I honestly, I really debated putting Returnal above this. I really did. But it comes down, which one would I want to play first? And it came down to this. Spider-Man. And I'm talking specifically 2018 PS4 Peter Parker Spider-Man. Not Miles Morales. Miles Morales is great. Look, I have a poster of him right there. But to be honest, it's my favorite Spider-Man. Not even just game or like as a character, that version is my favorite Peter Parker. That is my favorite Peter Parker. That's my favorite Spider-Man, because the story is oh my gosh, out of the world amazing. The gameplay, out of the world amazing. Music, visuals, all of it. Like, this game made the industry realize, holy crap, we can actually make licensed IP masterpieces. Real. Look at today. We got Wolverine, Star Wars. We got an Iron Man game in development by EA Motive. We got a Captain America Black Panther game in development by Skydance Media. We got Disney games being made left and right. We got like 10 different Star Wars games being made. We got Lord of the Rings games. We got Harry Potter games. And guess what? This game kind of started it. Yes, there were licensed IPs, licensed IP games before Spider-Man. But none of them were to the AAA value that Spider-Man was, and none of them got as high as praise as Spider-Man. That's when companies realized this can actually work. And there's some of the most anticipated, some of the best games to date are licensed IP games. And it started with this one. It really did. I love the game, absolutely. I could spend so many hours just swinging. I really can. I feel like everybody can agree with that. Some of my favorite games have just mindless doing something, right? I could just mindlessly swing and have the time of my life, right? Easy. Spider-Man is goated. But coming in as my runner-up, and I'll be honest, the only reason it's this high is, look, you guys know me. I'm not one for nostalgia. I don't put a thing higher on my list because of nostalgia. Like, it's not the biggest factor to me. Yes, it's a little factor. It is. But nostalgia isn't a big factor when it comes to my opinion on something. I wouldn't even say this game is up here because of nostalgia. I think it's up here because of importance. I think what Just Cause 4 did for me is why it's this high. Ladies and gentlemen, and if you've been a long-time subscriber of this channel, and I mean a long time, you're about to get emotional. Ladies and gentlemen, Just Cause 4. Oh my god. Okay, apart from the fact that this game is an absolute blast, the gameplay is fantastic, just absolute chaos, absolute fun. Apart from, yeah, the visuals are pretty good, music's pretty good, story's pretty good. The game is great, but yes, it was the game to kickstart what you are currently watching. My YouTube channel. It was the very first Let's Play I ever did, very first game I ever completed on YouTube, and it was this game that made me realize I really like doing this. I'm actually gonna do this. Here I am. Here I am. Just Cause 4. Thank you for meaning the world to me. And thank you for giving me my second favorite video game character of all time. Oh yeah, Rico Stinkin' Rodriguez is the man. He is the man. Oh, dude, Rico is my goat. He is my goat, man. Golly, dude, I got a couple of goats and he is one of them. Oh, dude, I love Just Cause 4. Please give me Just Cause 5, because I think Just Cause 5, like, yes, Just Cause 4, if I was ranking off of the quality of the game, Just Cause 4 would be lower, I'll be honest. But I think Just Cause 5 actually has a chance of being, like, really, really stinking good. Because of the premise and where the story's at in Just Cause, I think it could really set some bars. I think it really could. So I please give me Just Cause 5. Please. 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 Number 1. number 1, we're not going to say yet. Because we do have 6 honorable mentions. Ooh, I was supposed to say honorable mentions before 3, but I suck. So, here we are. Honorable mentions, we got 6 of them. They're in no particular order. I'll give a little explanation, a little reason off of them, but not much. Dying Light 2. I absolutely love Dying Light 2. The only reason I haven't put it higher is because I haven't played it a second time, meaning I don't want to rank it just because there's a lot of excitement and it's fresh in my mind, right? I want to be able to sit on it, play it a couple more times, really get my true opinion on the game. That way I can rank it. But I definitely do see it being in my top 20 at some point, assuming I like it as much as I did the first time. Second one is Gears of War 4. I love the Gears of War franchise. It's actually one of my favorite franchises of all time. But this has the same effect as another thing on the honorable mentions list. It's not so much that the game is one of my favorites, it's the franchise. And this game is just my favorite out of the franchise. This game would not be anywhere near my favorite if it wasn't for all the games prior and the games after it. It's all the games combined into one franchise that makes me love the game even more, if that makes sense. I like the franchise more than I do a single game in the franchise. I don't know, I know that seems a bit confusing, but I would much prefer binging the entire franchise rather than just playing a solo game. That's what I'm trying to say. But nonetheless, Gears of War 4 is one of my favorites, and I absolutely love it. Pokemon Platinum, my favorite mainline Pokemon game. It's my favorite generation. Introduced me to some of my favorite Pokemon. It was probably my first Pokemon game I ever played. I just prefer Pokemon spin-offs more, and honestly, I just prefer other games more. That's why it's not on the actual list. Crash Bandicoot 4 is an absolute masterpiece, one of my favorite platformers. Unfortunately, it just didn't make the cut. It just didn't make the cut. That's just it. it didn't. But I absolutely love Crash 4. Give me another Crash, except I don't even know if they'd be able to top it. It truly peaked Crash. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Again, just didn't make the cut. This game is phenomenal. It is another masterpiece. To the music, to the gameplay, to the story. Oh my gosh, one of the best stories in gaming. Yeah, man. The visuals too. Whoo, Jesus, the visuals are insane, man. Yeah, absolutely love it, but unfortunately didn't make the cut. And the last one is one that you probably expected to be on the top 20 list, and that is Uncharted 4. This has the same exact treatment as Gears of War, but even more. The Uncharted franchise is... I don't want to spoil anything. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. Because of all of the games. If I play Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4, Lost Legacy, and Golden Abyss, all in one, binge... There is no other game I'd rather play. There is no other series. It's, in my opinion, it is the best thing video games have to offer. But yes, you should cop it on PC when it releases. It is great. Welcome to the stream, by the way, my dude. All right, but yeah, Uncharted 4. It's just my favorite out of the franchise. But Uncharted 4 is nothing without all the other games as well. So, yeah. Alright, with that said, we're moving on to my numero uno, my favorite game of all time. Those were just honorable mentions. Here it is, the finale. If you know me, you already know where this was going. If you were watching the stream a little while back, I spoiled it on accident because I'm an idiot. Here we go. My number one game, favorite game of all time, no questions asked, no competition, no even debate, no doubt. Ghost of Tsushima. Guys, if there is one game that motivates me in life more than any other, if there's one game that I enjoyed more than anything else in life, if there is one game that I fell in love with the character, the world, and the story more than anything else in the world, this is that game. This is that game. This game did things to me I didn't think were possible. I know that sounds sus. That sounds sus. But let me tell you, the ending in this game actually made me sit and question, like, life. Alright. I knew as soon as I finished the first time, yeah, this is my favorite game of all time. Real. I think part of that was due to the fact that, you know, I was excited for the game, but I don't know, I just wasn't expecting it to be like that good. I was kind of just expecting a good game, because I was trying to, this was around the time I was trying to different genres, getting into different games I'd never gotten into before, and I saw this Japanese game that I was like, yo, looks interesting, I'll give it a try. Oh, from beginning to end is the greatest story I've ever seen, ever watched, heard, been a part of, because the game makes you feel part of it. The character arc of Jin Sakai is the greatest character arc I've ever seen. I can't even say anything else. I just have no words to describe how amazing this game is. I've tried my best to get as many of my friends to play this game as possible. Really, only 2 of them listen, which, to be fair, that's majority. This game actually defines why I love video games. That's the best way I could put it. This game is the reason I love video games the way I do. That's all I gotta say. Give me Ghost of Tsushima 2. I'd love it. With that being said, that does do it for our list. I know it's a long one, but it was a big one, and it's really important, and it was fun. I love doing it. A lot of talking. Definitely gotta drink some liquid, because golly, my throat is not okay. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, definitely leave a like, leave a comment, section down below provided, and please subscribe. Let me know what are some of your favorite games of all time. I'd love to hear them. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content. Like I said, if you haven't seen the announcement video with the new system that we're going, make sure you go watch that so you can keep up to date with all the different content we got coming up. We got so many bangers coming up for you guys. I can't wait to get in it. Remember, everybody plays differently. Enjoy it your way. Play your way. I'll see you later, guys. Johnny Moore out. Peace.